It's Hornets versus the Weekenders, and they're everywhere, which calls for a little creativity. But before Steve and Steve bring an optional application on to the fastest route, the open road, then let the foot-activated liftgate be the extra pair of hands you don't have. That's what takes Ford Escape, the total package. Now use the 2017 Ford Escape 4-wheel drive for just $159 a month at the local Ford dealer.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I am your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Rygal. How's it going, dude?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, you're on countdown mode.
Yeah, man. Less than 3 days, I will be quote-unquote fixed. So, yeah, going for surgery.
We gotta get a meme going. Rygal is harder than Finn Balor because you didn't need a sling.
There you go. Just gonna get a picture of my face on Finn Balor's body. There you go.
There you go. That'll work. Now, I was going to bring this up for everyone that's listening. I don't know if you're familiar with this. The ongoing saga with TNA.
Yeah, it was all over yesterday. I haven't heard much of it today. Has there been any major revelations today?
Dixie has been tweeting out, hyping up the pay-per-view, so it looks like they found money. Because there's supposed to be like some shocking like new owner or something announced at the pay-per-view.
Well, I mean, frankly, nothing Dixie says fucking,
I know.
I mean, she is the one treated like it. Things are going great, and then they get dropped by Destination America the same day. Like, having great meetings here with Destination America.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
TNA has been dropped by Destination America. It's like, whoa, I think we have a very different definition of what great means. But
well,
okay.
Now Drew Galloway has been pulled from the pay-per-view.
Huh.
Due to injury.
Is that shoot? Did he get hurt working somewhere?
Yeah, he got a concussion.
Oh, well.
So now it's going to be Eddie Edwards against Aaron Rex.
Oh, that's right. That was their big fucking feud, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. This is why WWE, for anybody listening, WWE is not going to buy the company TNA. Because business-wise, what that means is not only are they buying TNA, they're inheriting also all their legal contracts and also their debt, which many insiders have said that far supersedes the value of the company itself. So say the company is worth $5 million, they have $8 million in debt, which means just to get it into the green, the person buying has to now pay $13 million just to get a company to zero. Like to own the company and get it to zero.
And nobody's going to do that because that's bad business.
Yeah, and the problem is WWE is a publicly traded company, which means all of the profits that they get shared amongst their investors. It would be a very poor decision for them to take that, because all the profit money they're getting now is actually going to be going to pay off their debt and not making them more money, which means shareholders get mad and take their money out. Like, that's why WWE kind of has to do certain things. You know, it may not be rules, but if I don't like what they're doing, I'm going to take my money out. So they kind of got to play bitch with a lot of the things they do. It's why there's no blood. You know, because, you know, their relationship with, you know, Susan G. Komen and the Make-A-Wish is very lucrative for them.
Yeah, and, you know, like, they have major deals, you know, with, like, companies that are kid-friendly, Toys R Us, and, you know, things like that.
It was either Ford or Toyota was offered a spot. I forget what the mix-up was, but something got overridden. And a commercial that was supposed to air, a very expensive commercial time spot, some national tragedy had happened, and they lost what they had paid for. And they were offered 2 prime time slots in the middle of Monday Night Raw and they turned it down because they still didn't want any kind of affiliation with wrestling or WWE. For those who think that WWE is too PG and everything, there are still major brands. It's either Ford or Honda, Ford or Toyota. Major brand, one of the biggest brands in the world, didn't want to have their advertisement run for free during primetime Monday Night Raw.
It's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, it just puts into perspective of like why there's no blood, why you're not going to find intergender matches on WWE, like what it means to be PG and why it means that to be PG.
Well, and like we talked about this, and it's not just WWE, but pro wrestling in general, and a lot of people don't want to admit this, it's a niche market.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
But that's what TNA has been talking about. Well, I should say Dixie Carter, so we'll wait and see. But she said that there's supposedly something big or monstrumental supposed to happen at Bound for Glory.
Yes, she said something about, all I saw was stay tuned for like anybody close to the Orlando area. I wouldn't miss this Saturday or Sunday through Saturday is the way that it was worded. So I guess they're talking about doing it all week.
Yeah, I really don't know.
And bro, look, I'll put it like this. I've always poked fun at TNA fans. I've always felt bad for TNA wrestlers. Dixie being retarded and not knowing what she's doing has really never been in question with anybody who has a brain. Does it mean, like, I like the fact that you could see big name guys go to TNA. I've been hoping it would turn around, not become the next WCW, but become the first TNA and be a viable alternative for people, because that would create competition and maybe make WWE step the game up. I mean, SmackDown's already fantastic. Raw is the worst it's been in fucking years.
Dude, we talked about this privately. It reminds me of Nitro back in the day.
This reminds me of pre-Attitude Era Raw.
Yeah, like 95, 96, when it was really bad.
Yeah, when you had like Avatar and Aldo Montoya and fucking
Isaac Yankem
and a push for fucking Big Mabel. Like when Big Mabel was king of the ring. Like that's what this is beginning to remind me of. And it's terrible and it breaks my heart because Kevin Owens is their current champion. And anybody who knows anything knows I idolize that man as a wrestler. I love him.
It's a shame because it's not that man's fault.
Oh, by no means is the condition. It's just like the fact that that's what he's champion of just makes me sad. I'd so much rather him be on SmackDown and
I know what you mean.
Let everything that's going on SmackDown go on Raw, because that's the only real overdone story on SmackDown is the main event picture.
Now, here's another interesting thing that's come out with well, not so much TNA, but someone in TNA. I don't know if you've heard this. Matt Hardy, Broken Matt Hardy, is being sued now by Eric Bischoff.
I've heard vague things about that situation, that supposedly he was in character when he did the shoot.
Yes, with everybody's favorite shoot interview guy, Rob Feinstein.
Yeah, now I haven't seen it. Rebby's the only point of reference I have that he was in character.
Yes.
I mean...
And he basically said that Hogan and Bischoff strip-mined TNA, which is not a lie.
Yeah, I don't know how inaccurate that is, but again, it has to go down to the words he used. Because, yeah, we may poo-poo and laugh, but he may have said things that borderlined on what could legally be defined as slander. I mean, again, I'm not defending the guy. I'm not defending Bischoff. But we don't, I mean, unless we saw it and I haven't, I don't know what he said. Hi, little man.
Hi.
Yeah, he's sitting here, he says, I have to whisper something to you. He's trying to tell me about his Royal Rumble match.
No.
But the Hardy thing was just interesting to me because he was in character, so I don't know, like you're saying, how they go about that. If the dude is like, well, it's kayfabe, you know?
Especially since Bischoff's on-name character was Eric Bischoff. Again, depending on what he said and how he said it, they may find it very hard to prove that.
Well, and it's just funny to me that Eric Bischoff, the guy that said horrible things about, you know, tons of people, gets like all bent out of shape over that.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to what was actually said, though.
Right, I understand. Alright, dude, I wanted to go over for everyone Clash of Champions real quick for those that didn't see it. If you didn't see it, you really didn't miss a lot.
Not at all.
Alright, let's get into it. The pre-show match they had was Nia Jax against Alicia Fox.
Yeah, that one as predicted.
I actually was surprised that they let Alicia Fox get, you know, some moveset in, you know, and actually get a freaking 2 count.
I think eventually they're going to have to start, like, they're going to book themselves in a corner by having her be this unstoppable monster. And it's only, like, unless they're, like, going to put the title on her, it's not like Goldberg, and there's not like 160 people for her, you know, for her to go through.
Right, I know what you mean. I thought Paige was going to be the next one, but now that's not going to happen.
Yes, apparently she's having neck surgery or something.
Yeah, and she's going to be out like maybe 9 months to a year.
That sucks for her.
Yeah,
maybe she'll clean herself up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it'll help her, you know, get herself, you know, healed up and back
in the right frame of mind. Yeah, we said the same thing at the same time. Yeah.
All right. Next, we had the New Day defeating Gallows and Anderson.
Look, I'm gonna say one thing. I hope that Gallows and Anderson are being paid very well.
I know. The thing is, I really enjoyed their match, but I just don't know where they're going with them.
I mean, after Raw, I think I know where they're going with New Day. I have no idea where they're going with the club at this point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And we talked about this before. I thought it's just a damn shame what they're doing to Gallows and Anderson, where it's almost like they've killed them off, basically.
You know, yes, but maybe it could be one of those things of I didn't build you up, so let me break you down before I build you up.
That's very true also.
I mean, the fact that AJ is where he is an anomaly, and anybody who says otherwise is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, like they want to build them up their way, if that makes sense.
Name anybody else who came into the company onto Raw and was pushed immediately, even from another country. Nobody.
No. Well, it makes sense now that you say that.
Like even with Sting, they had Sting lose to fucking Triple H in his first match. So I mean, it's like even WWE, WCW guys. I don't know, like I had a whole elaborate thing that I thought would be great for what they should do with TNA, because I'm all about buying TNA, but doing an invasion angle the right way.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
And by the right way, I mean WWE lose initially.
Yeah.
I have a chance to get a lot of guys over at once.
I know this wouldn't happen, but a friend of mine brought this up earlier. He was like, he wishes WWE had the balls to do something with TNA and make like Triple H be the guy that bought TNA.
Yeah, I would just have them. Unfortunately, it's going to become public knowledge. I would have tried to have it done quietly. and then just have TNA guys show up in NXT.
That would be awesome.
But like the bigger name guys, Bobby Lashley, all guys who came from WWE.
Yeah,
Alan Rex.
EC3 and those guys.
Absolutely. And just have them come through. Have them say, oh, well, TNA tapes right over here. Just have them come through. And it could be a whole faction of guys that worked for WWE that mismanaged. You don't even need to put the Hardys in there because they have their own little thing going on. You can have them come in and just start feuding with people.
Yeah.
Kind of like with the Nexus, but legit guys who mean something. Guys who work there. Cody Rhodes. There's so many guys that you can name. EC3 is a great name.
There's a ton of guys.
Yeah, that got over very well. The guy who just got hurt and can't wrestle tomorrow. Scott.
Drew Galloway.
There's another one right there. Like, that would go over very fucking well.
I agree, absolutely.
It would get people to want to watch fucking Impact. Like, what the fuck? Like, now I want to see what happened. Instantly right there, you triple who's watching Impact.
Yeah. Especially just by word of mouth.
Or me who sits here clowning on TNA every week, sitting here watching NXT or sitting here watching WWE. And oh my god, here's the guys who used to work here that will fight. What the fuck? They don't work here. They work for the other company.
Yeah, why are they here? Yeah,
like,
it writes itself.
End the pay-per-view or end of Raw that way or end SmackDown that way where the next show is Impact? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea.
I mean, but then again, that you have to you have to hope. A lot of thing is that these guys don't have guaranteed exclusive contracts, which is why, for example, Drew Galloway is hurt. He's allowed to go wrestle for other companies, which is a risk to TNA, but because they don't tape every week and they don't have steady work, they can't expect somebody to be faithful to them, so they give them a contract for certain dates. And in those other dates, since they don't pay them super a lot of money, go take indie dates. Unfortunately, people get hurt.
Yeah, you're right. Alright, dude, next we had TJ Perkins defeating the Brian Kendrick.
I thought it was a great match. I thought Kendrick worked great heel.
Yeah. I loved the intro Perkins got with the old school 80s like NES like video game look.
Bro, I have been listening to that on my phone for the last week. That's a throwback to old Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!
Yeah.
And Mega Man for me.
Dude, I was like, holy crap, WWE like stepped it up.
I just wonder how many people during the week called him Max Health. That's my one question. How many people who have never seen him before didn't realize his name was TJ Perkins? Like, people sitting in the arena saw Max Health and thought that was his name.
Yeah,
who's this Max Health guy?
Former TNA guy, Suicide.
I guarantee you 3 people in the entire audience knew that he was ever in TNA. I guarantee you nobody in that arena knew that he was Suicide.
I also love the heel tactics of Kendrick at the end, where he like goes to hug him and then just kind of like headbutts him.
Yeah, headbutts are vastly underused nowadays. They're so vicious.
And he's really the only true heel, as of right now, they have in the division.
Yes, but I would bet my life the other heel is going to be Jack Gallagher.
That would be very interesting.
That's a heel wrestler right there. That's not a babyface. There's nothing babyface about him. From the moment I looked at him, I'm like, this is an interesting take on a heel. And you can wrestle dirty that way.
Yeah.
Still like a gentleman, but...
I know what you mean, like a new twist to it.
Very William Regal.
Yeah. That's a good comparison.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's... William Regal is that without the entire gimmick.
Yes.
Instead of a gentleman, he's a king.
Yeah. Next, we had Cesaro and Sheamus going to a no contest.
Bro, for the first time in a long time, I was completely into something that Cesaro was doing, because he's been handcuffed so badly, and B, in an even longer time, completely enthralled with a match that Sheamus was involved in for reasons other than people doing a wave.
Dude, Dave, those matches they had in that best of 7 were very compelling.
Let me be completely honest with you. Until the 7th match, whenever you asked me if I watched one of their matches, I'd lie through my teeth when I said that I had. If this 7th match was any indication, then I need to go back and watch the 5 televised ones that I missed, because one of them was at a house show.
Yes, there was one in Europe.
Yeah, Cesaro's first win, which was their 4th match.
Yeah. No, I can agree with you that I've never really cared for Sheamus at all, but these matches, they've had good chemistry.
Absolutely, and it's like, look, I know Sheamus has potential, because I've seen him in great matches before, and as much as I want to say is one person can wrestle anybody and make them look great, there's an extent that goes, and Sheamus has put on good matches when he's booked right. If he would have fought, or in 3 times maybe, instead of 6,462, maybe I wouldn't be so sour on his work.
And they wouldn't have put us to sleep.
I wouldn't remember, the only reason why I remember that is because I remember that the fans were so pissed off they started doing the wave.
Yes.
That's how forgettable that feud was, other than the fact of, it's the feud that never ended. But I don't remember anything from that feud, other than the fact that people got so pissed off after WrestleMania they did the fucking wave.
I was just kind of annoyed with the finish.
Again, after WrestleMania, I said I would allow things to play out. That night, I was furious.
Yes, I was too.
I was like, man, of all the stupid, you had 7 fucking matches to determine how you would end this.
And you do it this way.
And the best way you determine is the 7th match gets ended in a draw on pay-per-view, where people pay, well, not anymore pay, but people expect to see a conclusion to the story.
Yeah, well, some people actually still do pay.
Yeah, but it's...
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that whole argument, most of their market isn't, so they can't...
I have to be honest with you. After that finish, I was annoyed, and I turned off the pay-per-view and then watched the rest the next day.
And I can understand that, because, the rest of the pay-per-view was fucking terrible.
Well, we're gonna get into that. Next, we have Chris Jericho defeating Sami Zayn.
I have no idea why.
That was the same thing I thought. Because ever since Sami Zayn got his supposed big momentum-changing win against Kevin Owens,
it's been the Kevin Owens show.
In July, he's done nothing.
No, you're right. You're completely right. And they've completely soured on him, and
I almost thought they were going to put him in with the Cruisers at some point.
That's what they need to do. They need to send him out, retire Sami Zayn, give him a month, and have him come back as El Generico. That's it.
There's a certain group I'm in on Facebook, and there's a girl in there that loves Sami Zayn. And every week I put in there, #We want El Generico.
Yeah, he's become nothing without the mask. He's so boring. I hate those fucking happy to be here baby faces. You do nothing
like
for
Apollo
me.
Crews.
Although the other day he came out, he wasn't smiling. I was like, look, he's not. And then Corey Graves even said, this is the first time I think we've ever seen him come out not smiling.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
No, you're completely right. He's just the guy who's fucking happy. Actually,
I know Lance always calls Sami Zayn Sammy the taxi driver.
Yeah, that looks more like because I guess it's a New York thing. That's a Newsies hat. Like like when I was growing up and when my dad was growing up, my dad still wears those hats.
Okay.
And I clown on him all the time because he looks like an old newsie. Like if you know like the musical Newsies.
Yes.
That's what they called it in New York City.
Oh, okay.
That's why I know him like that. But yeah, that's what I think of. I think of fucking Disney's Newsies when I see him come out. I can't take that motherfucker serious.
I understand they want to keep, like, Jericho hot because he's kind of, in the big feud with, being Owen's lackey to a certain extent. But at some point, you got to have him put over your young guys. Which
he was doing for a while, but
yes.
This one makes no fucking sense. You put Fandango over him, but you don't put Sami Zayn, especially when the rumor mill is Jericho's leaving after Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
So, again, like, long-term booking that, making...
Lance said that Sami Zayn reminded him of the guy from The Hangover.
Which one?
Which one are you referring to, Lance? I think I know who he's talking about, but I want to make sure.
Yeah, definitely doesn't... I hope he doesn't mean Galifianakis.
Maybe, I don't know. But I agree. I was a much bigger fan of El Generico out on the indie scene.
I mean, I got to know El Generico simply because
he said he reminded him of Zach Galifianakis.
I don't know, but Zach Galifianakis is entertainment. Sami Zayn is a newsie. He's a fucking taxi driver.
At least we always joke about it. His promo with Colt Cabana is like legendary.
You know what? They need to play on the fact that he's Syrian and just make him like a fucking ISIS sympathizer.
Why not?
Yeah, had Sergeant Slaughter become an Iraqi sympathizer. Have Sami Zayn come out like fucking Al Qaeda.
Well, they got the dude Jinder Mahal. They almost made him out to be like that, and he's Indian.
Did they?
Because he's like talking in like I shouldn't say, maybe it's just the way they had him like dressed and how he like talked in a foreign language. You could perceive it to be that.
Yeah, I was surprised because his new fucking theme song is like Indian rap music.
Yeah, that was weird.
Hey, I mean, like, if they want to try something different with him, like, let him be a fucking G who happens to be Indian. Like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
you know,
why not?
Make it believable. I mean,
right,
yeah. Don't turn him into a fucking Eminem of fucking Indian people, but, like, you can be, like, a tough Indian fucking gangster. I'm sure there's fucking crime syndicates in India. Like, have him be one of those, but stay away from the Allahu Akbar bullshit.
That's a good one.
Look at it. Ask Muhammad Hassan what fucking happens to people's careers.
Oh my god.
That motherfucker was Italian. His name was Mark Capani.
Yeah. The thing is, if he wasn't on network television, that would have worked.
It was bad timing. It was terrorists.
Yeah, bad time. It was just really bad timing.
Yeah, they decided to go bomb London that day. That was the same day as the London bus bombing. It's the same day as the taped SmackDown aired. Like, it was already in the can. There was very little bit they could have done.
Yeah, it was where basically a terror cell basically came out and attacked The Undertaker.
Yeah, basically choked him with a fucking, what the hell you call it? A garrote.
Yes. Oh my god.
That was a big deal. I don't think people understand, like, a garrote is a murder weapon. Like, you kill people with that. That's meant to instantly cut off people's...
Well, see, if people don't remember, back then, SmackDown was on network television.
Isn't it still, or no?
No, it's on USA now.
That's right, that's cable, yeah.
Like, they were on basically, like, the WB from years ago.
Yeah, WB or UPN, you're right.
So that's a huge deal because that's like a major network.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they, like, unfortunately, he got fucked with that because he just did what he was told to do. I mean,
Yeah.
But you gotta be careful with, like, religious gimmicks. Like, that was, I don't know, with what was going on in the world at that time, I don't know if that was the best idea. Sometimes it's just cheap.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, heat's heat, but yeah, I mean, now when it comes at the cost of fucking terrorist attacks that legitimately happened.
Right.
Yeah, North Korean, that's one thing. North Koreans didn't kill any fucking Americans.
Yeah. Alright, next we have Charlotte defeating Bayley and Sasha Banks.
I guess they just didn't want to ping pong the belt back and forth, but
I have to say this was probably the disappointment of the night for me. I thought this match was going to be better than what it was.
yeah, so did I. I mean, it was a good. Wait. No, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty decent match.
Right.
Nowhere near their usual level, but you know you can't expect.
No, it was good, but maybe it's just because we've been getting such good women's matches. Yeah. We're getting spoiled, you know.
I just like to prove my point that they continue to show why they went to Raw and Becky is wrestling against Carmella.
And Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, like, and I think it's beginning to show now. I know there's some people who may not like my fucking opinion, but she can't even hold the fucking belt right.
Well, dude, they don't even have her holding the belt anymore. If you remember, she came out wearing it.
Yeah, they should learn how to hold the belt.
I agree.
That bothered me.
I'm assuming they didn't want to ping pong the belt back because every rumor I have read is they want to have Bayley and Sasha for the belt at Mania.
Well, you still got two really big pay-per-views, and that's what people tend to forget. You still got Rumble, and you still got Survivor Series, which tend to be pretty, like, especially Rumble. I could see a big change happening at Rumble, but then you have a short period of time. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it has to be heel Sasha versus babyface. Bayley, yeah. I don't think it would work otherwise. I think they've done the whole friend angle too many times.
No, and to be frank, Sasha is a much better heel than she is like a tweener or a face.
Absolutely. For a while, she's the only one really wrestling heel in the company.
Yeah.
Stepping on hair, stepping off fingers, you know.
Yeah, that's heel tactics.
At its finest.
Alright, moving on, we have Roman Reigns defeating Rusev to become the new United States champion.
Good for him, seriously. I don't have a problem with this. Look, I don't hate Roman Reigns. I hate the fact of how he was pushed down our throats. Let him get seasoned. Let him carry the belt for, 6-7 months. Let him do something. Then put him in the main event picture. Because he's going to be the face of the company one day. There's no doubt it. Like, look at him. Problem is that WWE tried to force him. I'd make him heel for a while. A cocky, badass heel. So that when he turned face, like, that would be the way to turn fucking Roman's face. Are you kidding me? The whole TNA invasion. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
WWE's getting their ass stomped out by the obvious heels. And who comes out? Roman Reigns.
There you go.
Have the whole storyline could be TNA guys saying, look, the fans don't appreciate you. Get real with it. The company, knew you were going to fail. They set you up to fail, blah, 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 blah. Have him be around when TNA guys, have them really think that Roman went to TNA. And at some point really big, Roman just turns and goes back to the WWE. Or, shows his true colors. He's with the WWE the whole time. Saves the WWE. 10 years from now, people will be sharing the clip on YouTube. Roman Reigns returns to save the WWE instead of the fucking Stone Cold.
Yeah, that'd be wild, man.
But that's what I would do. You'd establish a bunch of superstars, you'd create another brand, and you do what you want with Roman Reigns and get him over as the face of your company.
I actually like the matches him and Rusev are having.
So do I, because they match each other well enough.
Yeah, I've always said people will trash Roman Reigns, but if you give him the right person like to work with, he can have great matches.
Absolutely.
All right, now lastly, the main event: Kevin Owens defeats Seth Rollins in the main event.
Again, no, I mean, it wasn't. I don't know, I kind of got tired by the end of the pay-per-view where I was like, can this just end already? Because it was after 11 o'clock at this point.
I liked that they let a heel champion win using heel tactics.
Why do I forget how he won?
Jericho helped him.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it's good. They need to start... Look, for a lot of years, if I would have had a friend watch a match, they wouldn't be able to tell who the good guy was and who the bad guy was. And that's part of the problem, because the match is the story. Everything else is fucking hoopla. The actual story is the match. If I can't show it to somebody and they can't watch and go, well, that's the good guy because he's, you know, acting a certain
this
way.
is the good guy, cheer him. This is the bad guy, boo him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, why is he the bad guy? Well, if he's not acting like the bad guy, it's kind of hard to get across he's the bad guy. Have him cheat. Have him do things that will get the casual fan to go, oh my god, why didn't the ref see that?
Like, yeah, look, I can't stand him. Look what he did.
Yeah, part of the reason why you have heels that get no heat is because you don't allow them to get heat. They're just not good guys.
Right. I will say, overall, this show, I was very underwhelmed.
I'd give it a C. Not a failure, but nothing fantastic.
Yeah, that seems fair. All right, now, what about the train wreck that was Monday Night Raw?
If I remember correctly, I didn't watch any of it live. I spoke to you while I played World of Warcraft.
That's true.
And you're going to have to remind me of the segments, and then I will definitely remember what happened for the most part. But
yeah,
I was definitely more into SmackDown and NXT this week. That I paid attention to.
Right.
Not so much.
What I was going to say is I really enjoyed the opening match with Rusev and Reigns. At first, I didn't like the finish, but it looks like in the bigger picture it's leading to them probably having a blow-off at Hell in the Cell.
Yeah. That is probably where they're going to go with it. Would make sense, but again, I really like the idea as Roman as champion. It'll give him a little taste of what it's like. And maybe it'll let the fans kind of like get off his ass a little bit.
Yeah, because I will give the man credit. He has improved in the ring.
Oh, completely approved. You know, but of course, no one's ever going to say it. You know, I mean, he's going to have like one of those John Cena sucks fucking careers.
Yeah, the other thing I really enjoyed was the 2 cruiserweight matches.
I saw the multi-man match. I don't remember, because I guess whatever I went back and watched it on, for whatever reason, that was cut out of it. I didn't see the TJ Perkins, Anthony Nese match, which I heard was the better of the two.
That was really solid. And then it was cool to see Drew Gulak and Dorado on Raw.
Well, Dorado I know was signed. I'm 99% sure he was one of the first to sign.
What's ironic is he grew up and lived like an hour from my house.
Oh, that's cool. And they have him billed as from Puerto Rico?
No, they have him billed from Camden, New Jersey.
Oh, Gulak. Oh, that's right. That's right. They didn't build him from Puerto Rico. They built him from Camden.
Because that's where he's legitimately from.
You're talking about Dorado?
Yes.
Yeah, but in the cruiserweight, he was there representing Puerto Rico, and he was introduced from Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow. Well,
That was the whole
weird.
thing that, he was the representative from there when they were like 32 countries. And
Yeah. Okay.
Or 16 countries, 32 participants. That was one of the countries.
Well, see, the only reason I noticed it, I was watching Raw, and I hear him say, from Camden, New Jersey, and my head perked up like, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because they made a big deal about he was from Puerto Rico. That's the only reason that I know that. He's a Puerto Rican luchador.
Yeah. And for those out there that want to know, Drew Gulak and Tony Nese are not signed to WWE. They have Evolve contracts. And Evolve has a working relationship with WWE. That's why you saw them on Raw.
Yeah. I'm actually hoping that WrestlePro gets some kind of shit like that because of Kurt Hawkins. That'd be fucking sweet for these guys.
Yes, that would be very cool. See, the rest of the show, the only thing I can really bring up that I wanted to talk about was the main event was pretty good with Enzo and Cass and Jericho and Owens.
Yeah, I have no complaints.
The only thing I'm going to bitch about is it really feels like they don't know what they want to do with Enzo and Cass, and they're just kind of throwing them wherever until they get their title run.
Yeah, but what's good for them is no matter what they throw them at, it's been working.
That's true. Oh, that's the one other thing. How the club was officially killed on Raw.
I don't remember that.
Where they lost again to the New Day.
Oh, yeah, well. Oh, yeah. I want to comment on something both I liked, that I hated, then I liked, and then I hated all within the same night. And
go ahead.
Alright. I hated at first the idea of pairing up Cesaro and Sheamus after this. I felt it was a cop-out. And then I listened to Foley's speech, which, one of the best fucking promos I've heard in a long time. Foley did Foley well. And I was like, alright, this could be really good. Foley says, tonight, I get super excited. Alright, have them fight New Day tonight and win the titles. It would be perfect. Nope, they're not going to do it tonight. So, by the time it happens, it's going to be a comedy act of the Odd Couple, and it's not going to have the same impact. At least that's my opinion. And that really bothered me, because I was like, oh, this would be awesome if they win it like the first night. I know they've done it a million times, but I think it would be more successful than if they give it time. When you give Vince time for anything, everything has to be fucking funny.
I know what you mean. When they first did it, and thank you for reminding me of this, that it reminded me of when they paired up like Stone Cold and The Undertaker, or like Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels, like, weird pairings.
Yeah. Edge and Hulk Hogan win the fucking titles on 4th of July.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
But I've read rumors that Vince is not taking those belts off of them anytime soon.
The only reason I can think of is so that he can take the record away from Demolition.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what I've read, because Demolition is suing him.
Yes, and he doesn't want him to have the record. And, because I know for a fact that, that's the reason why Orton beat Benoit for the title. Was because he only had a little bit of time left to be younger than Brock Lesnar to become the youngest champion of all time. And Brock had left on such bad terms.
Yeah, I remember that.
That is 100% shoot. I've heard that in so many different places, that out of spite, Vince put the title on Randy simply because Randy was young enough to, even though and he was the closest guy who was ready to it at that age.
what's interesting is that New Day would have to keep the titles until right before Christmas to break it.
And I wouldn't see, like, you know what gave me a little bit of hope not hope, but a little bit of thought that may be what they're doing? They just released brand new orange New Day shirts, like,
For
you know,
Halloween.
how Count Chocula would have Count Chocula, like, it's like that, but with the New Day Halloween theme, so
Yeah, I saw it. It was cool.
But I don't see them dropping brand new alt merch like that and then stripping them of the title. I just don't.
No, they're going to keep it to break Demolition's record so Vince can erase them. He's petty like that. But I wanted to move on now, dude, to SmackDown and get your thoughts on SmackDown.
Well, what's the over-under on this Cesaro Sheamus thing still being in existence, say by even Royal Rumble?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, because, it's worked in the past. You could, like, the perfect example that was recently brought up to me, and you may or may not remember it, but when they decided to pair up one of the Smoking Guns with Jeff Jarrett's roadie.
Yes!
Everybody was like, what the fuck? For those who don't know, that became the New Age Outlaws. It was one half of the Smoking Guns, who was a fucking cowboy with cap guns, and Jeff Jarrett's roadie.
And it's funny because at that time, Billy Gunn was rockabilly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was... Oh, that's right. He wasn't a... But yeah. It was such a weird, awful pairing that made no sense, and it turned into arguably one of the great... Like, one of... I don't want to say greatest tag teams, but one of the most remembered tag teams of all time. Maybe one of the greatest.
Yeah, that's true. Honky was his manager, and then Billy Gunn smashed a guitar over his head to become
That's right.
Badass Billy Gunn.
Yep, and then he ended up working with the Road Dogg, the roadie, and the rest is history, you know?
Yeah, the rest is history. Dude, I have to tell you, I really enjoyed SmackDown again this week.
So did I. Like, I've been doing a lot this week, so it's been hard for me to sit down and watch anything in its entirety. But I actually went back and made sure to watch a lot of the segments I missed. Only thing I turned off, like I told you earlier, is the main event, because I don't give a flying fuck about anything in that main event right now. I really don't. And
the problem is, we all know who's gonna win if you're smartened up, you know?
Yeah, I just, you know, I don't know. I'm so tired of Dean Ambrose.
Well, yeah, he probably needs the break.
Well, they're both going on breaks, so...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's going to go film another movie, and it'll probably be good for him to just get away for a little bit.
And Cena will be gone until almost Christmas.
Like Lance said, the best thing about SmackDown is it's 2 hours. The show goes by quicker.
And they're doing more with people, like... That fucking, Miz and Ziggler segment was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, really good.
No, I don't care what anybody says. Miz has turned into one of the greatest mid-carders of all time.
He's starting to win me over.
He's beginning to turn into one of the greatest mid-card champions, heels of all time. Because that vignette that they put up of him, like that little video, made me realize how far he's come.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, he's a legitimate veteran in this sport. And he was right with the promo he's cut. He's never been hurt. He's never been out for any length of time. There's only a handful of guys who can say that.
Means he's safe to work with.
Absolutely. And it's just like, he was always the guy who came from TV. And that's what won him over with everybody. was the fact that he worked through that. That's what
I know, that's why I couldn't stand him. Because I just thought it's this friggin' goof from the real world.
By the time he was Money in the Bank, I was already a big Miz fan. So when he cashed in, bro, I can't put into words, because that's something. He was going to be the first guy who never cashed in my eyes. When he cashed in, bro, I had bruises on the top of my knees for weeks from when I jumped up and hit my legs on the computer desk. Because, like, now I can, because nobody I knew liked The Miz. Everybody hated The Miz. I was the only one who was like, Miz is fucking awesome.
And I'm going to tell people now, and they're going to say I'm crazy when I say this. Miz is going to win that match at No Mercy.
Do you think so?
I think maybe they're gonna put Ziggler on ice for a while.
I don't know. He explicitly said it, and now granted, what Miz said doesn't really mean anything. But in the promo, he explicitly said, "I don't mean leave and come back."
That's interesting.
Just the fact that it was brought up. I mean, it could have been something he threw in there. I don't know. I think that they want to throw realism in there because that whole promo was very real.
Oh, yeah.
I think they may give it to Ziggler. Because Miz has kind of established himself again.
The only reason I was saying no is because they always seem to, shit on Ziggler.
I'm not trying. I mean, if they're going to book it right, they're going to give it to Ziggler.
Right.
You can't keep booking things and breaking your promises.
Right. See, I just think overall for the continuation of each show with the storylines, it's SmackDown is better hands down.
Yeah, I realized how over Heath Slater was when I was watching that.
The 8-man.
Yeah, I'm like, holy fuck, they got Heath Slater over like the moon.
And I'm happy for him because he deserves it.
Oh, another thing. In the beginning, I was like, yo, this Kurt Hawkins thing looks awesome. Now I'm like, this has gotten so tongue-in-cheek corny, I'm terrified where this is going.
And now it's like, I have a big announcement this week.
WWE takes what can be a very fun idea that has to be treated with, a lot of caution so it doesn't get tacky.
And just beats the dog shit out of it.
Yeah, it takes it to tacky, though, whatever you do, don't do this. Oh, let's do this times 10.
Well, and the thing is, the dude's already wrestled. He's been on Main Event.
I just don't get it, man.
You know what I mean? And I know Main Event is, more for the international crowd, and I don't know if it's on the network or not, but they'd be like, why are we seeing these hype videos when we just saw him, wrestle 2 weeks ago?
Oh, he's been doing Main Event tapings?
Yeah.
Okay, he just hasn't been on TV. No, I think Main Event's off overseas.
That's what I thought. But other than that, I have no complaints about the show this week.
No, and I want to make something perfectly clear. I am not shitting on the Kurt Hawkins gimmick. I just think that it's something that, if you're only going to do vignettes, it's going to get very old very quickly with people.
No, I agree with you. Because I'm happy as hell for Kurt Hawkins. He's a great guy.
Yeah, by all measures, he's a great human being. He's a great worker. I mean, he knows what the fuck he's doing. He has his own school, and I know it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I've seen the product of what comes out of his gym and what comes out of his partner's gym.
And I see a lot of his Creative Pro guys weekly or, down in this area, and there are a lot of good young talent.
Yeah, I mean, he knows what the fuck he's doing, so he's a good hand in the ring, but the problem is WWE doesn't treat them well. Like the whole story of Vince's directive was that Stone Cold was to never have a microphone. He was there to work. That was it. That's come from Stone Cold himself. But that was the original directive that
I remember that.
the writers were told. Was that he was there not to talk. He was there to work.
Crazy. Now, dude, what did you think of this week's NXT?
I don't like the Authors of Pain, but that's a weekly thing. The Asuka segment was as pointless as I expected it to be.
Yeah, I don't understand what they were trying to do by squashing Liv Morgan.
I don't get what that was supposed to do to establish that Asuka is good. I mean, like, I like the fact that she's undefeated and they mention it, but it's not the focal point of who she is. Because, they do keep reiterating how unbeaten she is, but it's not the focal point of, like, the undefeated Asuka.
I like how they've been hyping up Billie Kay and Peyton Royce as of late, because they're really good in the ring.
Yeah, I agree fully. I believe that this is that they've successfully started to bring in the new wave of women, which may be the first time in history that it's ever been done, where they had to mass reproduce women, like, of quality, not somebody that they can go to a model search and just like people who can actually work in the ring.
Yeah, like Ember Moon.
Ember Moon being an example, Billie Kay, the other one you mentioned, Peyton Royce. Now, Mandy Rose, can she work, or is she one of the fucking Tough Enough losers?
That's the Tough Enough chick.
Alright, because she at least came across, like, okay, analyzing it as a fan, she didn't come across as somebody who was afraid of Ember Moon, which kind of opponents have been. They've kind of been, like, weary, She came across as a tough broad, but
like, she didn't look, what's the word, like, lost. You know what I mean?
She didn't look completely clunky in the ring.
Yeah. She didn't, I thought she actually took the O-face not too bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree.
Or whatever the hell they're calling it now.
I have no idea. I haven't heard a name for it yet, so.
There's a name they have for it, but I don't remember.
I thought I heard it, but I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to skip back.
The other thing I liked was seeing Ty Dillinger and Bobby Roode become a tag team for the Dusty Rhodes tag tournament.
Either they lose and Roode turns on him, or Roode just drops out on him. I don't see that working.
Oh, they call the O-Face now, they call it the Eclipse.
Alright, I can see it.
That's not too terrible, because there's been some really bad ones.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I really like Biff Busick as a worker, but he is never going to make it with that fucking name.
Fuck out of here. And then they had the two fucking Jobber brothers who came out on NXT.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, bro. Angelo Jordan is the worst. I can't believe he has a contract.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
That's being friendly.
And he does, like, the little, like, ooh, feed me more bullshit, like, with his hand motion. I hate that shit.
Bro, I don't even know what it was, but I had a visceral reaction to him on stage when he came out. I was like, what is this? He looked like a football player.
Yeah.
Is that his whole gimmick, that he's a football player? But he
basically.
Wrestles? Oh my god, man.
I know this wasn't on NXT, but it was announced, I think it was on their Twitter. Something on their social media. But Kota Ibushi
Yes.
and Itami are a tag team in the Dusty Rhodes Invitational. As soon as I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was very happy to hear that.
Yeah, like that really, my ears perked up on that one.
I don't think they're not going to win unless Ibushi signs. And my first thought then is, who's going to knock them off? That's how my brain works. I mean, because
there's nobody that really can.
But it makes me wonder, who are they going to book to knock them off? Because I don't see them giving.
Yeah, they're not going to let Ibushi win because he hasn't signed a deal.
Yeah, he's never wrestled a day for WWE. He's wrestled in NXT, but he's never wrestled under the WWE, contract.
Yeah.
I don't see them giving that to him. Definitely going to be a draw for the fans. Going to get fans to watch NXT. Unless he signs a contract, I don't see it happening. I know, I'm like the biggest buzzkill in the world. I know, I suck. I'm not saying you're saying.
No, but you make very valid points.
I know, but it's like I ruin wrestling for people because I explain it to them, and they're like, "Man, shut the fuck up." Because I got one friend down the block, and I had these talks with him, and he was just
you marky asshole.
And I'm like, "No, man, I'm just trying to explain it to you," and he's like, "Fuck you, man." He's like, "I don't even want to watch anymore." I mean, he's joking, of course, but
I know. I wanted to bring this up real quick because I know some of these guys, and I don't even know if I mentioned it to you. I know I did the first part. I went to a On Point Wrestling show on Saturday, this past Saturday, and Masada and Lowlife Louie was in the main event in a death match. Well, Lowlife Louie got injured, broke his ribs, and it eventually punctured and collapsed his lung.
Yeah, that nigga got fucked up.
And now the On Point family is having a wrestling show as a benefit for him on October the 30th. To help cover his medical bills and to help with his family, and I believe they also started up a GoFundMe as well.
Speaking of GoFundMes, when you guys can create a GoFundMe for Rygo sitting at home being sad, and yeah, I will be your best friend.
Well, we'll get to work on that.
Thank you.
So, anyone that wants to check that out, it's in... Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. In what part? Williamstown, New Jersey. Go on their Facebook page. God, I'm completely drawing a blank on the name of the company. On Point. There we go.
Yes.
Facebook.com/OnPointWrestling. They have all the information there if you want to check it out. I believe New Jack is going to be there.
I like New Jack. Fuck New Jack.
Yeah, they're all, from what I understand, every worker is going to work for free to help, get money for, him and his recovery and for his family, which is really cool.
I agree. I think that's really nice.
Yeah, considering, and by no means am I talking trash on Deathmatch guys, it's really not my thing. But it was the main event. But I have all respect in the world for those dudes that do that shit, because it is fucking crazy.
I have no opinion. You have to actually do something to earn my respect. And being dumb enough to throw yourself on, around like idiots is probably not going to get my respect. So.
I understand where you're coming from.
It's not real. If that shit was real, probably still not. I don't see the point, and especially when it's in front of 100 people. I just don't see the point.
Right.
The views of Ryan do not represent the entire podcast. They only represent myself.
Yeah, send your hate Rygal's way.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, we're gonna get out of here for tonight. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, share, hit a thumbs up, all that good shit. And we will see you back next time. Have a good night, everybody.